Welcome back to another day in the shop. It's a bad day to be some plywood. So all the cabinets I've made so far have been pretty standard, but we do have one that has some special requirements. The mudroom is where we keep our robot vacuums. We've got to make a little cubby for it. So that means this cabinet can't have a bottom because the robot needs to get up into the dock. It needs to have a back because it's not going to have a door on it. And because it's not going to have a door on it, it needs to be made completely out of walnut so that it matches the rest of the mudroom. As a result, it's going to have a different than normal construction. So we'll talk about how we're going to accomplish that. So come on, let's see what we can get done. All right, let's get out the walnut plywood that I broke down for this cabinet. We've already edge banded it so that it doesn't have any exposed plywood edges. The sides of the cabinet are going to be pretty standard, as well as the top. They're going to fit together like a normal cabinet would. Where it gets tricky is there's not going to be a bottom, and the back panel is going to be made of the same 3/4 inch plywood that the sides and top are, and it's going to fit in between the side panels. I'll be putting this together using brad nails and countersunk screws, just like normal, like I did in my other video. Building this, I noticed that since walnut is a harder wood, I ran into two issues. The first being that the brad nails weren't going in quite like they normally do, so I had to go back and clean it up with a nail setter and a hammer. You'll see me do that. And I also noticed that my drill bit had a tendency to wobble on me when I started drilling into the walnut. So like you see here, I started using a punch. It just creates a divot in the wood where I want my hole to give my drill bit a head start. I think it's called a punch. Is it a punch? I don't know. If you haven't seen my last video, I like to use this pocket rule to mark half the thickness of the plywood so that when I drill these holes, I'm hitting dead center into the layers of the plywood. I've had plywood split on me far too many times. While we're here, I just wanted to remind you to like, subscribe, comment. I love to hear from you guys. Also, let me know if there's any other videos that you want me to make. I know that people ask me to make a video on the in-feed supports that I made. Are there other shop things that you've seen in my videos that you want me to talk about? Like my workbench or my miter saw station? I don't know, let me know. The last step is we're going to secure the top to the back panel. I decided to inset the back panel instead of just nailing it onto the back because, this won't have a bottom. So I wanted to treat it as if it's just a big stretcher to add rigidity and support. And there it is, a robot vacuum cubby. Final step is we got to see if it fits. Nice, it's the perfect height. Well done. Thanks for joining me in the shop today, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more woodworking content and to see how this mudroom turns out. Thanks. Bye.